As he was eulogized by friends, family, and news reporters, a quote of which he was fond was often repeated. His adage cautioned, "Don't count the days, make the days count." This simple but sage lesson for life has been an inspiration as I work to serve the 760,000 neighbors who call our community by the sea home. I've spent many hours working hard to bolster our municipality's financial standing while maintaining the top-notch services our residents have come to expect. At the same time, my management team has dramatically cut the cost of government by slashing payroll costs, reducing overtime expenses, as well as consolidating operations and streamlining procedures. Heeding the call of Muhammad Ali, we've, quote, made our days count, all 20 months since I've taken office. Consider the value for your tax dollar provided by Hempstead Town. Indeed, our government provides the lion's share of local services, excepting public education and police protection, while comprising only 9 cents of every property tax dollar for our homeowners. Those who live in incorporated villages pay just over 2 cents of their tax dollar to our township. Controlling spending, reducing costs, and holding a strong rein on taxes are noteworthy imperatives for governmental leaders. However, aggressive financial management is a tool and not an end in and of itself. Moreover, an important test for government managers is how well they control costs while still delivering high quality and life-enhancing services. We've just completed a rewarding summer season of outdoor activities that included swimming lessons for 6,000 children at 23 swimming pools, hours of fun at 7 ocean beaches, boating adventures that begin at 4 town marinas, as well as kayaking and hiking at 3 stunning nature preserves and the Woodmere Docks. A seemingly endless series of baseball and softball games, exhilarating lacrosse clinics, the joyful sounds of youngsters on local playgrounds, and so much more are taking place at over 100 parks in our township. But I find the Senior Summer Beach program at Lido Beach and the award-winning Camp Anchor for children with special needs to be the most rewarding programs offered by our government. Don't get me wrong, our government offers great activities and services throughout the year. From exploring our colonial-era Rock Hall Museum and skating at Newbridge Arena to year-round swimming at Echo Park Pool, our town has plenty to offer those who are young and the young at heart. Our 15 senior centers are ensuring that these are the golden years for 191,000 mature residents with nutrition programs, art lessons, interesting lectures, shopping services, athletic programs, tax preparation services, a health fair, and 1,250 affordable senior citizen apartments. The scope of our township services is vast. Dedicated workers maintain 1,200 miles of roadway. A lean and efficient Parks Department operates over 200 parks, beaches, and pools. Sanitation crews collect garbage from 85,000 homes, and the town's water department delivers pure and plentiful drinking water to 121,000 customers. Even while our Town of Hempstead team provides all of these services, my managers are acutely focused on the environment too. In fact, New York State recognized our municipality as a clean energy town this year in qualifying our energy team for a $150,000 grant for solar projects. Boasting approximately 200 kilowatts in solar projects, we are showing other governments the light when it comes to clean energy. In fact, we are now offering free charging services for electric vehicles at our township's solar-powered charging stations. From our iconic 100-kilowatt wind turbine in Point Lookout and our usage of geothermal technology to our hydrogen fueling station for hybrid vehicles, we are working to reduce our carbon footprint. Just take a look around and you'll see several governments that are in fiscal strife. Too many governments have become reliant on one-shot, non-recurring revenues and fiscal gimmicks to balance the budget. Amassing crushing debt and counting borrowed funds as revenue, along with selling off assets and pursuing arcane private sector management agreements for vital services, have placed many governments in chaos. The results of irresponsible budgeting are obvious. Financial oversight boards and an eventual day of reckoning for those governments who are not fiscally responsible. Not to mention unpleasant surprises for taxpayers. I refuse to take Hempstead Town down that road. Simple principles such as pay-as-you-go approach to budgeting is at the core of my administration's good government agenda. An insistence that recurring revenues are sufficient to meet recurring expenses is something that every family must confront in their household budgeting, and it is my position that your government should embrace the same policy. Hempstead Town's taxpayers can be confident in my administration's dedication to sound and sensible fiscal policies. In April of this year, our government earned its third consecutive upgrade in its financial outlook from independent and nonpartisan credit raters. In granting the town its most recent upgrade, respected Wall Street credit rating agency Standard & Poor's observed, quote, "The town has begun to restore fiscal stability and work toward stabilizing its financial position and improving and restoring reserve levels," close quote. The rating agency went on to note, if the town continued to maintain structural budget balance, it could earn a credit rating upgrade. I should mention that our government holds currently a solid investment grade rating of A+. Taxpayers deserve at least one level of government that runs its operations in the same manner that residents manage their household budget. When I assumed the office of supervisor, I committed myself to accountable budgeting and aggressive cost control. I am proud of the accomplishments that we've made together in 20 short months. Indeed, thank you. Indeed, I slashed the town's 2017 budget by $13.4 million, or 3%, from over the 2016 financial document. In fact, the 2017 budget, the first municipal spending plan that I crafted, constituted Hempstead Town's first structurally balanced budget in over a quarter of a century. The accomplishment even caught Wall Street's attention as Standard & Poor's rating agency stated in the town's credit profile, quote, "Management continues to work diligently and conservatively towards structural balance," close quote. Even though 2017 was the first budget that I assembled, I even endeavored to dramatically improve upon the 2016 budget, which I inherited upon taking office. News outlets reported the remarkable $29 million budget turnaround that I brought about through aggressive cost controls and strict management protocols. While the 2016 budget originally included a $23.5 million operating deficit, our accountants closed the book on the 2016 budget figures in April of this year, recording a $5 million budget surplus. Some of the factors which contributed to the turnaround included slashing labor costs by $7 million and cutting discretionary spending by $10.9 million. Looking ahead, friends and neighbors can count on me to continue this tight-fisted approach to budgeting. I am ever mindful that our government is entrusted with your tax dollars. Specifically, I will present a 2018 budget later this month that is lower than the spending level in the 2017 budget. In brief, I cut spending in the 2016 budget, which I inherited. I slashed the 2017 budget by $13 million over the 2016 amount. And my 2018 budget will be a reduction from the 2017 spending plan. That's 3 years of cuts in spending in the town of Hempstead. Residents have called for accountable budgeting, and I have received their message. Cutting the cost of government is one of the hallmarks of my administration. Starting on my first day as town supervisor in January 2016, I cut discretionary spending by 20%. My 2017 budget slashed discretionary spending by an additional $3.9 million. This commitment to lean and efficient operations will continue in my 2018 budget. Payroll has been an area of significant cost reduction under my management. Indeed, I slashed $19.1 million in salary costs in the 2017 budget compared to the 2016 spending plan. In fact, my 2017 budget evidenced a 3.3% or 66-person workforce reduction over staffing levels just 4 years prior. What's more, by simply limiting the number of hours that part-time employees could work, our government saved $5.5 million last year. Overtime costs have been public enemy number one during my tenure as supervisor. One need only look at the overtime trends from 2015 through 2017 to understand that I am serious about curtailing overtime. In 2015, total overtime costs in Hempstead amounted to $5.5 million. At the end of 2017, total overtime costs will be constrained to $3 million. That's an astounding 46% reduction in overtime costs at the same time that I have cut hours for the town's part-time workforce and reduced the total number of town workers. In fact, a review of the size and costs for part-time and seasonal workers between 2015 and 2017 underscores my premise that you can trim the workforce at the same time as you slash overtime. Indeed, costs in this area have been cut from $22 million in 2015 to $14.3 million in 2017, a 35% reduction. What's more, an analysis of our total number of part-time employees shows a 21% reduction in staffing levels from December 31st, 2015 to December 31st, 2016. The Township's administration has also employed 2 recent early retirement incentive programs to reduce the size of our workforce and reduce costs. A retirement incentive in 2015 witnessed 57 employees leaving government service, resulting in avoided salary costs of $6.4 million. A second incentive that was offered in 2016 saw approximately 100 employees separating from our government, providing over $10 million in avoided salary costs. By carefully managing the costs that I have outlined, as well as others, we can keep the tax burden that is borne by homeowners and businesses to a minimum. Striving for new ways to reduce expenditures and cut costs is the core of my mission of providing the best government services at the lowest possible cost. Government consolidation is offering genuine savings for our taxpayers. Recently, the town of Hempstead slashed the number of motor vehicle service facilities from 16 to 2. This 88% cut, along with the institution of work shifts, will save taxpayers $1 million annually. What's more, a trash-to-cash initiative has taken broken, obsolete, and useless town equipment that most governments discard and has put the items on the online auction block. In a few short months, the town has garnered over $250,000 in revenue in this area. At the end of 2016, my administration commenced a program under which we began purchasing like-new used trucks and other heavy equipment for pennies on the dollar. We bought dump trucks that retailed for $250,000 for just $35,000 each. This initiative will save taxpayers $1.3 million annually. Very recently, Hempstead Town took delivery of some office furniture built by New York State prisoners. Hempstead got good quality office furniture at a fraction of the cost of office supply prices, while inmates learn valuable job skills that can be employed when they are released from prison. In total, using this program for all town furniture purchases could save our government $46,000 annually. We even commenced a program under which old mattresses that people throw out are actually recycled, and the town is realizing substantial savings over traditional mattress disposal methods. Three substantial projects underscore the dedication of our government to improving services and safety for neighbors while dramatically slashing costs that are borne by taxpayers. Earlier this year, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers commenced a $230 million coastal protection project that included the communities of Point Lookout, Lido Beach, and the city of Long Beach. The project will minimize flooding, beach erosion, and property damage in extreme weather. Initially, the project called for a 10 to 15% share of the $230 million project to be funded by town taxpayers. Fighting for taxpayers and working closely with federal representatives, we succeeded in persuading the federal government to fund the entire project, saving local taxpayers more than $25 million. This year, Hempstead Town began an indoor lighting conversion initiative, along with the conversion of lighting at our area parks, which will save approximately $400,000 annually by replacing conventional lighting fixtures with high-tech LED, light-emitting diode lamps. This effort is an expansion of a project that saw our government replace 50,000 outdoor street lamps with LED elements. That project is saving taxpayers $2 million each year and $43 million over its 20-year lifespan. Finally, my administration took over the management of the famed Lido Golf Club in June of this year after decades of private management. Our great municipal workforce overhauled the facility in a 2-week-long marathon that included replacing golf carts, installing golf cart paths, refurbishing bunkers, rebuilding course bridges, as well as overhauling greens, fairways, and tees. What's more, the new course will realize $510,000 more in net annual revenues than the town would have received under the former private management agreement. Hempstead Town's team of administrators and workers are enhancing the quality of life for the 760,000 members of our family while watching the bottom line. This summer, we partnered with South Nassau Communities Hospital to combat skin cancer by placing 25 sunscreen dispensers at local pools, beaches, and golf courses. The cost of the project was entirely underwritten by the hospital. Also this summer, a spectator at a Little League baseball game at one of our town parks experienced a major cardiac episode. Thanks to one of the 50 new automatic electronic defibrillators that the town has acquired, the man's life was saved. I want to thank Mercy Medical Center and St. Francis Hospital for funding the AEDs. Several weeks ago, our town partnered with local libraries, placing little library boxes at 15 pools and parks to promote literacy and encouraging people to rediscover their area libraries. Books have been donated by the libraries and the boxes were built by town workers. We recently enacted a building permit amnesty program that helps neighbors to get needed approval for construction work that lacked town inspections. The amnesty program waived the usual penalties and the effort ensured safer homes. On the heels of this initiative, we opened an express building permit window. Now, neighbors can secure many construction permits in just 3 days for a modest fee. We're also helping our troops and those impacted by natural disasters. Specifically, we've collected tons of golf gear for soldiers who are serving overseas. These troops have built makeshift driving ranges to combat the stresses of battle. And we've also collected relief supplies for the victims of Hurricanes Harvey and Irma. This is a brief thumbnail of some of the township's quality of life efforts. Working directly in partnership with the town's labor union, we've crafted a labor contract that demonstrates the highest regard for taxpayers. The contract constrains cost of living wage adjustments well below the rate of inflation. The agreement also features a number of cost-cutting measures in several areas, including employee health insurance and workers' compensation. Just 2 short days ago, the town of Hempstead held its annual 9/11 ceremony at Town Park Point Lookout. The township's new permanent 9/11 Memorial Park was unveiled. The construction of this seaside monument was one of my top priorities upon becoming supervisor. The families of 9/11 victims deserve this place of solemn reflection, and future generations needed to ensure that the events of that fateful day and the heroes who were killed at Ground Zero will never be forgotten. The stunning park is an emblem of our fidelity to the legacy of the 9/11 victims. While budgets help fund our work in government, projects like the 9/11 Memorial Park serve as sentinels for values and priorities. We will never forget the victims of 9/11 and those who have died since because of their work at Ground Zero after contracting 9/11 related illnesses. I encourage you to visit this site with friends and families. It represents the heart and the soul of our township. As I craft my 2018 budget, neighbors can expect a continued dedication to providing high-quality services at the lowest possible cost. I dramatically cut spending in the 2016 budget that I inherited upon becoming supervisor. which resulted in our turning a $23 million deficit into a $5 million surplus. I followed up that challenge by presenting my first budget proposal as the town's chief executive. My 2017 budget slashed spending by over $13 million compared to the 2016 spending plan. That effort earned our government upgrades in our credit rating outlook. Now I am crafting a 2018 financial blueprint that will again cut town spending in a structurally balanced and sensible manner. Staying true to Muhammad Ali's credo, we have worked hard to make the first 20 months of my tenure as supervisor count. And as I move forward with my taxpayer-first agenda, I promise that I will not count the days of my administration. Rather, I will labor tirelessly to make every day count for you, your families, and the next generation of town residents. Thank you. God bless you. God bless America.